So here you see that we are passing, just see, we are having views here, and we are just giving the dimensions to the view. We are giving width, height, background color, and we can have different kind of structure, I would say squares here to it.
Okay, these are the fixed width and fixed height.
Right, fixed dimensions. The same thing we can pass, I would say, in the class way style sheet as in the previous you have seen. Or we can just directly pass it in the way as in the double expressions, I would say handlebars. These are the handlebars. Yeah. So default, I would say, when we are having any kind of a structure in that, we are having two structures, that is column structure and the row structure.
Right.
But default, it goes for column always. So if you see that it comes stack by stack, one over the over. So this is a column structure, if you could see. If we want it in a row, we use different, I would say, layouts, which we'll be going through in the next chapter only, that is layout with Flexbox.
Okay.
Okay. So here becomes the flex dimensions, if you see. So do you have any idea on flex, how flex works?
No, I don't have any idea. Because
I mean, you just asked me that how we manage the screen size, right?
right, yeah. So for different devices, the dynamically it needs to basically get adjusted, right?
Right. So if I talk, one answer is that we try to use flex in that. Flex is something, it automatically takes the width of the device, width and height of the device automatically.
Okay.
And another thing is that we are having some, I would say, the properties of React Native. We can find the width of the width of the device, height of the device, and then we can provide styles to that particularly. That we will come in the upcoming sessions only, but just giving an overview that we are having that property as well in the React Native. Okay.
So what does it mean, like flex, whatever colon equal to 1?
Yeah, I'm just telling that. So if you see that we are having one parent view, this is the parent view. If you see, we are having three views inside that, and one is the parent view.
Yes.
Right? And the parent view, we have provided flex is equal to 1, and the rest we are providing flex 1, 2, 3. So when the parent has flex equal to 1, irrespective of that, if I provided 2 also, it doesn't matter to it. There is no change. You will see it's same. If I provide 100 as well, there is no change. Anything does not change here when the parent has any value of flex.
Okay.
Providing a flex to the parent means that now we are working on the flex channels. I mean, we are working on a flex type design. So if the whole parent is 1 and the rest 3 childs I am providing 1, 2, 3. So you add up all the, I would say, the child statistics, that is 1, 2, 3, it comes out to be 6. So if you see that if whole is 100, then out of 100%, that is 6. This is 1 by 6. This is 2 by 6. And this is 3 by 6. So here you can see that 3 by 6 is half, right?
Correct.
So this, my screen is half of this. So if I put here 1 and one more 1, it will be divided into 33.33% equally. See.
Oh, okay.
So irrespective of any device, I would say size, the flex does not change. If it is, I would say tablet, if it is iPad, if it's something else, it will remain the same because you have provided flex to it.
Correct.
If I say it here, yeah. Carry on.
You had put the parent as it was 1, right? Flex as 1, and the child was 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So that means it will be these two. Second one will be 2 times, and 3 will be 3 times.
Right.
Of the. In any device, if you want to see that one, it will be the second one will be 2 times, and the third one will be 3 times, right?
Yeah, I mean the best understanding of flex you can get from here. If you see
Mm,
that
mm,
flex is equal to 1 here,
mm,
and you're providing flex 1 to this and 2 to this. So this is just
mm,
half of the screen. So that
mm,
means the whole size is 4, and you're
mm.
dividing the whole size into different parts,
Right.
right? I mean, you can use the fixed dimensions using flex as well. It is not the restriction that fixed dimensions cannot be used when you're
Mm.
using the dimensions like that. We can use both the things. Everything in CSS goes side by side. There are no restrictions. If you see, one will work or one will not work. It will not show any kind of error when you are going for styling of something. It will just overcome or overtake that part, right?
But if you want to work in a fixed dimension, then for each device you need to make the changes, right?
I mean, at times the flex gets distorted also. It's not necessary that flex does not get distorted, because providing a flex something, it does not mean that the font size could be managed using flex.
Mm.
Only you're managing the areas or images or something using flex, but you cannot manage it using, I would say, the font sizes, the particular design or the loader design. So there are multiple challenges also using flex. You need to use width and height in that case as well. We will come to that as well also when we are using, I would say, uh, when we will find the device width, and we will be basically providing a new class to that, new style sheet class.
Okay, so it is a must that the device, the complete whatever the width and height needs to be provided.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
it depends on the requirement. First of all, it's not necessary if you're making totally responsive. First
Mm.
of all, you need multiple devices to make that responsive, because actual testing you can do it only on the physical device.
Correct, yeah. But most of the cases right now, whatever the requirement is coming is to make it responsive, right? So we
Yeah,
need to be this flex model up to 90% it will work. Then the right
I would say 70/30. Flex is
70
70%
30.
accurate. It
Mm.
depends on the what the app require, what how the app looks, what is the requirements in the app also. It's not
Okay.
necessary that if the app is something like just a showcasing a list view of the data,
Mm.
you can
Mm.
just manage it through flex. But if the app requires something, some miniature works or some kind of images or some kind of display actions or any kind of logics, so in
Mm.
that case you might require the responsiveness of that as well.
Correct, correct. So the responsibility, is there anything, any other framework which actually suffices about like a UX design, which will suffice about 90% or 95%?
See, there is
I'm
no
not.
framework. We have to provide the design as well, because
Okay.
we cannot say the automatically it will not decide that how much thing it will cover. You can give it 70 to 80% at your max level by giving a default designing to that. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
suffice it by any framework or something. But though we are having libraries in React Native, in Expo, that is basically, I would say, a dig in research. We are having multiple things in React Native. We have multiple frameworks. If I talk about Fire framework is there, Heroku's framework is there, Expo is also a framework. So there are
Mm-hmm.
multiple. It's a kind of, I would say, developments going on. So whichever suits or whichever having a better research or better grading, you can just pick those and see how
Okay.
much it suffices your requirement.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you actually tell me again the Fireworks and what are the other frameworks you told?
See,
Fireworks is one.
I mean, I have worked on 4 years back. It is having a Fireworks framework. I have made an
Mm-hmm.
app 4 years back, so
Mm-hmm.
it was built on Fireworks. When just
Mm-hmm.
React Native just bubble started up, it's just 2 years old at that time, or 1 year old
Mm-hmm.
at the time. I just built an app on React Native. So there was a
Mm-hmm.
very famous Fireworks framework
Mm-hmm.
going. I don't know whether it's currently Fireworks, because after 2 years, Expo came into existence, and that was marvelous framework. Expo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does not require any kind of, I would say, Android Studio usage as well.
Okay. Mm.
This is a very marvelous framework. You have a QR code. You just scan the QR code on your mobile app. The app simulates directly whenever you changes the code there. So that is very marvelous thing which React Native has provided. I mean, if you will go to the documentation, you will have multiple frameworks known, and you can also search on net famous React Native frameworks. It always depends what application requires, what application want to showcase you.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we have just a basic on Flex. Now moving next, how the layout is working, how we can change some designs in Flex. So here you see it is giving the same thing which I have just told you below.
Yeah.
You can have a again go through that how it is working on that.
Okay.
Okay. So here is something Flex direction, which I told you that default we are having column, that is a default value, or we can provide it row as well, row reverse, column reverse. So automatically the word itself is quite explanatory that what it means. So if I pass the Flex direction as row, you could see that all the things are in a row.
Right.
So here you see we are using Flex as well. We are using the fixed and the fixed dimensions as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Similarly, that passing the Flex direction as row reverse, it starts from the, I would say, the end of the screen here. The same goes for the column reverse. I hope that doesn't require any kind of a showcasing. Does it require to show in the code?
No. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it is same for iOS and Android, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the
I mean,
CSS. Yeah.
everything
Okay.
is pretty much same.
Everything.
If there is any kind of a design change or something, we here save the file as .js. In that case, we will be saving the file as ios.js.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
You will write your own logic there of JS only in the JavaScript only. The whole design, because if you see, the iPhone has a different screen size as compared to Android. So
Correct.
might be you need to write some different kind of a small CSS change. Few things might require a change in height, width, or something. So you might have to write, I would say, a different CSS. Or if you don't want to write a different CSS, we are having, I would say, property that is platform.
Okay. Yeah.
This
So pass
platform,
that on.
this platform is basically used to return whether it is iOS or Android.
Okay.
Just let me see if it could show here. See, here my platform comes to be Android. If you see, it is Android.
Right. Yeah.
Platform.os. So platform is an object which returns the operating system which you're using. So it returns as Android.
Yeah. Got it.
If I go here, you will see iOS here, if you could see. Right?
Right. Yeah.
So if you want, we can just have a style changes like this also. If you see in the platform.os, if it is equal to iOS, then my whole width should be like this. And if it is Android, then it should be red. Just a sec. I forgot some closing base or something. See, in the iOS, I have setting the powder blue. Could you just go through the ternary operator, which I have seen, platform.ios. If it is true, then it should have a width of 50, height 50, and background color as powder blue.
Yeah.
But when if it is not iOS, it needs to go on the red thing. See, it's on red.
Yeah. Got it.
So this is the way you can provide a styling as well. It's not necessary. It's just, I would say, it's a logic. What logic you would like to write, and how much optimized and how much readable it is. It's not readable logic. I would say it's very much unclean. If you see.
Yeah. Right.
Right. I'm just giving an overview that we can have this kind of a thing also as well when we move forward, that how to give a ternary operator in styles and how it could be used.
Okay. Yeah.
The same thing goes for React also. We can provide the same kind of logic in React if you want, but not related to iOS or Android. It's just related to any kind of a size of the screen for browser.
Got it.
Yeah. So we are having some layout direction as well, left to right or right to left we want. This is the justify content. I will be just showing you how the justify content is. It's a pretty good thing. See here, we are having fixed dimension and the flex as well. So here the flex direction is column and justify the content space between. So it equally divides the whole content in the column. And if I change it to row, it will make it the space between. And if I put it in the center, then it will basically, the space is closed and it comes in the center. Okay. So if I put align items in the center, it comes in the center of the screen.
Okay.
Similarly, we have margins as well. We want to use margin or something. We can use those things as well. See, it is 10. If it does not appear something, we can put it 40 here. And then it will come below more. So the margin top is also working the same way we want as it works in the browsers.
Okay.
So if you will go just to the guides here, so I will be just sharing this whole link. You can see that the CSS is almost similar. New CSS might have some things, flex, start, center. All these CSS is also available for the browser as well, I would say. It's not thing that only React Native is providing for mobile. We are having the flex layout for the web browser also.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So these are the few, I would say, CSS aspects: stretch, flex start, flex end, center, aligning the items which are used. So you can try all yourself that how these play according to the axis and how these things come up.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's an example of stretch as well, align items. So if you see, we are not providing the width. In the last two, it stretches the whole screen. Only the height takes up. And when we are providing the width, it automatically reduces to that particular width and height.
Good.
Yeah. So these are the few things you just try and write up here in the things only. You can just check out those things. Just open up one and import the things which you require, the view, the text, the image, whichever you think require. Only the image might have a little problem for you, but that also you can resolve by using the runtime, I would say, URLs.
Okay.
For Amazon or something, you pick up the URL for I would say any kind of image and just pass it to that.
Okay.
You can just try out those things and it will be pretty easy for you to handle those things.
Okay.
Right. So align content also is one of the, I would say, the property of CSS in React Native. The flex wrap, if the things are going beyond the screen size, it needs to come up in the next line. This is flex wrap. See, the screen, it is going, it comes automatically on the top here.
Okay, yeah, got it. Like
Flex go,
wrap.
pardon?
Like a text wrap, it is the flex wrap.
Flex wrap, right.
Whenever we wrap the text, right?
Right. So there are multiple properties you can go, flex basis, flex grow. All these properties are, I would say, the same things which are more over in the CSS. There are no changes, not a bit change in that. Only the, I would say, flex hyphen basis is used in CSS. Here we use the camel casing for that. So here is, that's something I talk about, the position or something. If we go for positions, this is also similar, relative. This is absolute. So it's almost similar, just it's going through and writing few kinds of, I would say, designs and just moving out with how those things work out. You just try to make, I would say, a screen divided into different kind of columns and scripts, and just try to make it out yourself that how it looks. Only the designing part, so that you just have a brief handover at how the Flexbox works. Okay.
Okay.
So
designing part
now,
also it gives this particular like whatever you're showing, right?
pardon? I didn't get you.
No, the designing part, whatever the link you're showing, it also provides that designing part. I can change and design some of the screens and sample screens.
I mean, you can. You see, if you see here, if you go, you just have to write red. I will just show you. See. It automatically works here. That's why I told you, instead of going for compilation and all those things, it will be the last part. We will be covering the course in this whole scenario and then coming up to the compilation, because compilation is very hectic process.
Okay,
one time setup is very problematic. If one time the setup is done, then it's easy.
Okay, yeah, fine. Yeah, got it.
Okay.